There we are. How's everybody doing? I'm back. Yes, feeling better. Oh my! Put myself on the big screen in front of me so I can see the comments. Boy, I am looking pretty old, huh? That's what sickness will do to you. Anyway, yeah, here I went and did a live stream. Hey, Jay, Patricia, Anna. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. It's basically just kind of a head cold now. Um, hey, I got still got a little of that, Laura. But yeah, the chills and the sweating and the body aches and oh, what a nightmare that was, man. Uh, I couldn't believe I got that right before Christmas too. I knew it too. I cleaned all day Saturday, all day Sunday. Sunday night I started feeling lousy, and I got the chills. And once I got the chills, I knew it was over. I knew it. Every time I get the chills, that's when I get real sick. And man, I just went downhill from there. And Chris is even worse than I am. She was sick the whole time. It probably is the flu in North Carolina. She's still sick, so she's going to be coming home tomorrow night, and she's going to have to go to the doctor as soon as she comes home because she sounds horrible. Her voice, she was the one who gave it to me. It's amazing that none of us were sick after. Yeah, I'm grateful for that. Even my kids. I was worried about going to Christmas Eve. The plan was that I was going to see my kids on Christmas Eve and my son-in-law and hang out there and have a good time and eat, blah, blah, blah. But when I was sick, I didn't want to get them sick. You know, it's the last thing I wanted to do was to bring that over there. And my daughter's like, well, you shouldn't be alone on both Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not going to get everybody sick. I'd rather just not be around anybody. And she was like, wear a mask. Don't come anywhere near us. Hey, Tracy. And I did. I went over there. I didn't wear a mask, but I did stay far enough away from everyone, thank God. And none of them have gotten sick, knock on wood. But it was rough. I wasn't feeling well, but it was just great to be there because if I wasn't, then I'd really been depressed. I mean, I pretty much slept through Christmas Day and really just slept the day before and the day before. There was one day where I was up for probably 3 hours and I slept the rest. But yeah, so many people reached out. Tracy being one of them. Um, Nancy and Jonathan Larson. I thank them. My private page. Um, Christmas Eve again. I was supposed to go to my daughter, so food wasn't going to be an issue. My daughter loves to cook, and she's a very good cook. And hey, Christopher, Heather, how are you? Um, and I wasn't worried about food because I was going to get food over there. I'm Italian. I eat pasta. I eat all that stuff, bread, like you wouldn't believe it. And but then I started feeling lousy, and I'm thinking to myself, I am not going to make it to my daughter's, and I didn't really have any food here that warranted a Christmas Eve or Christmas Day meal. So I'm like, oh boy, what am I going to do? And I knew my daughter would have brought me food if I asked her to. Um, but I'm laying here on this couch, blanket around me, and willing myself to go over there because again, it's Christmas Eve. I just wanted to be around family and just be around, somebody. And there's a knock on my door, and there's a guy out there with a pizza box, and I'm like, he goes, you're John? And I said, yeah. And he goes, here, someone sent this to you. And I open it up, and there's a tray of little thick ziti. There's a meatball parm. There's garlic bread and a salad that I threw away because I didn't sell it. But all the rest of that goodness was in that box. And I said, oh, thank God. At least I have food for today or tomorrow. So I did wind up going over there, and I wound up eating that on Christmas Day. And everything worked out. So thank you for all you guys that sent me messages, Patricia, everyone else, and who were sending me messages, and a few people called me, and Brian and Ann, and lots of people were reaching out to me, and it was really cool of you to do that, and I appreciate the concern. Weird Christmas for sure. I did miss Chris a lot. Christmas Day, I was. Was it Christmas Day? This happened. No, this happened last night. Is today the day after Christmas? God, I tell you, I've been sick. I don't even know what day it is anymore. So, I was watching while I'm eating my Christmas dinner from the Larsons. I watch It's a Wonderful Life every year. I love that is my all-time favorite movie ever, ever. And the reason is the message. I mean, George and his wife and whatever, the family, they give all that they've got. And yet they have rich friends, and all these people get to do all the, and yet they give everything they got. And then, when everything is falling apart, and, everyone comes through for them. And it's at the end, I get emotional every single time when they all start coming in and giving him money, and and the telegram from what's his name, the friend, the ER. I get emotional every time. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. I'm eating my ziti and my meatball parm. Hey, John McGinnis, and I'm watching It's a Wonderful Life, and at the end. So other than that, I've been trying my best to take care of myself and just relax and not do anything. Believe me, you know how crazy I am. There was a little tenth of a percent that I just saw Zuzu in December. I'm friends with her. Oh, get out of here. And there was a tenth of a percent that actually said, you know what? Maybe Christmas you go to the Creeper Gallery. Maybe you do that. Maybe that'll make you feel better. Because I was by myself, and I'm like, I just, so, but I just didn't feel nowhere near up to getting in my car and driving and doing all that. So I didn't. So, but the whole time I'm here by myself with nothing to do, I've been messing with a lot of different things. I got gadgets for Christmas, of course, for my kids. I I've been messing with some other things that I've heard about, that some people have told me about, and I've got a pretty. How are you, Heather? I got a pretty funny story to tell you along those lines. I have always made it a habit to never really, quote unquote, ghost hunt um, where I live. I just, even though I don't really believe in demons and any of that, I don't want to conjure anything here. Chris would kill me. Um, but I do experiment with different things and try them here from time to time. And in this case, I was using this new. Hey man, what's up, Cody? Happy holidays. There's the chicken. Cody, you crack me up, man. You crack me up. You saw my chicken though, the holiday chicken with the going across the fireplace. But anyway, so I'm by myself and I'm bored and I'm just experimenting with all these different things. And I'm sitting in my living room trying this spirit box. And uh, I did, hey, Amy, I did blindfold myself for this session too. And as I'm doing it, I'm sitting here where I am now. And like I told you, my mom's urn is over there, and my sister's picture is above me, and Christina's picture is above me. And I am not asking any particular questions. I'm just generally saying, this is my name. If anybody's here, say my name. What's your name? If there's anybody here, just again, I'm bored and I'm sitting here and I'm trying all these different things that I'm hearing about and I'm seeing. And at least first time somebody said, uh, your mother's here. And it wasn't my mother's voice. And I ignored it. And I kept going on, just asking one or two very generic questions just to see what I would hear, see how this thing worked. Um, and then a little bit after that, someone said, your mother's coming. And I stopped because I getting a little aggravated, and I actually said out loud, stop saying that. Stop talking about my mother. My mother's not here. My mother's not coming. And it said a few more words. I can't remember what it was. And then it said, mom, mom, a few times. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't know what's going on here, what this thing is. And I messed with it for a little while longer and put it back. And it was a little bit interesting. And I tried something else that was fairly interesting as well. This is the kind of things I get into, like Chris says, when I'm alone. The weird thing that happened, every night I've been taking NyQuil, to breathe and to be able to sleep. And I have to take, hey Jennifer, for my neurological issues, I have to take a Valium every night. Uh, and it helps with some of my neurological issues. So that on top of the NyQuil is like, man, it is a great feeling to just drift off to sleep without even knowing it. You just got the TV on and whoop, you're just gone. So I'm watching, of all things, I've never seen the Da Vinci Code. So I'm watching the Da Vinci Code, and I'm watching it, and I'm about halfway through it, and I'm drifting and I'm drifting, and I hear crash, like a boom, and just crash, glass breaking. And I'm like, sit right up, and I'm like, what in the blank is that? I thought for sure someone threw a rock through the window or smashed the window and was trying to break in. And I shot right up. Now I'm awake and I'm like, pitch dark. Turn on the light in the room, looking for my phone. Turn on the light on my phone, and I'm looking. Where did the crash come from? And I'm looking all around. I'm looking at window, and then I get to this shelf that has a bunch of stuff that Chris and I put on it. We have like each shelf has a different theme. And the third shelf just completely collapsed and just everything on it shattered into little shards of broken cement and glass. And this is, God, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. And I'm like, you've got to be blanking kidding me with this, you know? Like, how did this happen? I'm like looking at the ground, glass all over the rug, on the floor, and I'm just like underneath things, and I'm like, I have the cat, it's gonna be running around, so I'm like, oh, I can't believe. So I pick up all the pieces, then I get the vacuum. I'm vacuuming over and over. I'm lifting things. I'm underneath. I'm lifting everything. I'm, everything I could get. I believe I got it all because I kept running my hands over it. And every time I didn't get a little shard in my hand, I was like, okay, must be good now. So I clean it all up and I check the whole entire thing. Every shelf on the thing that's still there is just secure. Nothing, no issues whatsoever, And I'm like, what the hell? How did that even happen? You know, I I mean, yeah, things happen. It could have been just whatever. One of the things holding the shelf in place just snapped on that particular day. But it was weird how it was literally hours after I was messing around in here, and something was telling me my mom was around. And I think I really don't get the impression. I mean, of course I talked to my mom on Christmas Day and Christmas Eve, but I don't get the feeling that they were really referencing my mom. I get the feeling that hey Christine, that they were more messing with me to try to get a reaction. And that's at least the vibe that I got. And then that crash happened, and I was like, holy crap. And I didn't wind up finishing cleaning up until I don't know what time. Now I'm kind of more awake, and I'm sitting up in bed and I'm just listening. Like, what else is going to happen? And that freaked me out, man. That really did freak me out pretty good. Nothing like that have ever happened before. We've had that shelf for a good long while now. It's secure. It's wood. It's not some cheap Formica thing. It's a good shelf, and that freaked me out because the things that were on there, Crystal likes like those. I don't know how to describe them, like those glass clowns. What do you call those things? I don't even know how you describe them, but she likes them. Man, there ain't one of those left. whoever did what they did aren't a fan of clowns because they totaled them, man. But very, very, very bizarre. And my mom's urn is on the complete opposite side of the room from where the shelf is. Chris is in North Carolina with her son-in-law, her daughter, and her grandson. She spent Christmas with them, and unfortunately for her, she was sick. Has been sick the whole time. I mean, that was my gift to her to pay for the trip there and everything, and she was sick the whole time. She's still sick, so I felt terrible for her that she didn't get what I hoped that she would get. I mean, I'm sure she still loved being around her family, but I was hoping she'd really be able to enjoy it. But back to the shelf above the shelf that came crashing down has our wedding photo that Travis gave us that put in a frame. All these different types of skeletons that are, they hug. You ever see those ones? Or we have like little ones over here too. We collect like things like this. I know it's weird, but we have like bigger ones and different kinds of these things kind of on the shelf. And there's all these different stuff. Like there's real statues of a man and woman hugging and embracing, and it's just our thing. So, but that shelf, thank God, intact, and nothing there broke. So that I was at least grateful for, because that stuff really, I would have been upset if that stuff would have shattered it and broken all over. But don't, I should practice what I preach, and you don't mess with things. Um, yeah, I know, skeletons and clowns. I wonder why I do what I do. Um, but yeah, you don't mess where you live. I preached that over and over, and yet what did I do? I'm putting headphones on, and I'm doing what I'm doing here, and I just can't believe. Thank you. Uh, Something that we did not know. What I don't like clowns either. I'm not a big clown person. Clowns freak me out. To be honest, she's got these things about these glass. I can't even show you because they're demolished. But she's got these things about these glass clowns. So if you ever want to get Chris a gift, you could replace her glass clowns. I guess I'll probably be out there tomorrow looking for some glass clowns for her. But it scared the crap out of me. Yeah, survey says that most investigators don't investigate their homes. I no, I don't need a survey to tell me that. I don't. I'm making a rule not to. I don't ever want to invite something in that wasn't here already. Um, the ceramic ones are still intact. The glass ones are the ones that bought the farm, and she had quite a few of those. Yeah, they. So oh, at that time, and I was, man, I was flying on Valium and NyQuil, and I just started to breathe. You know how you got a bad cold and you're not feeling well and you can't breathe, so you can't sleep. I was just starting to. My nose was opening up. I was just starting to breathe, and I'm drifting off, and all of a sudden, that if I could have, I wish I had like ring cams like people do in their house. Man, that would have been like one of those paranormal, like, oh my God videos that people would have been trying to debunk. It was just, won't be doing that again. Don't be using those spirit box in your house. Now I got to go do all that stuff in the creeper gallery now to get it out of my system. I won't be doing that here no more. And what's funny, if you guys were with us back um, during the COVID days, when I get sent that one doll that that somebody had sent me that freaked the cat out. I wanted to investigate it, and in here, and Chris, of course, won't allow that. So I actually did it in my car. I parked out right out front, and I investigated in my car, and that was pretty cool. Red pods, always check the batteries. Make sure the batteries are good, and if there are police nearby on their radios, that can make a REM pod go off as well. Not to say that that's what was going on, Laura, but kind of, be aware of that stuff too. I mean, the batteries are going dead, red pods will start going off for no reason, and especially walkie-talkies, police radios. We found that out. I'll tell you a funny story. Um, this is way back in the early days of not really knowing, what we're doing. Well, I mean, knew what we were doing, but we didn't know everything. Not that I do now, but we know everything about how the equipment reacts and what could offer a false positive. And that's the reason I bring this up, Laura, is because we're in this firehouse. This is before NJP. We had first started out, and we were so thrilled that we got contacted by this firehouse, and God knows where. It was far, way up in North Jersey. And the story was, it was on a corner, and on that particular corner, like you came down a hill to make a right in front of it, and the road was like a country road. So it was a road where cars would just fly down all the time. And I guess there were lots of accidents around the firehouse in which people died and went off into the woods, and, imagine, right in front of the firehouse. So the rumor was that some of those people were haunting the firehouse along with some of the firemen who had passed through the years. So real excited, kind of the first time we ever investigated a firehouse. So really green. we just had REM pods, maybe K2 meters and recorders. That was probably it. And, between us, we had maybe, I don't know, 2, 3 REM pods, 3 K2 meters, a couple of recorders that we put one on the second floor and kept running. And so anyway, the only thing that happened the entire night was the REM pod down in their little front area. There's like it wasn't a bar, but it looked like a bar. They used it to like cook in their kitchen and stuff, so in that area we put a REM pod in every now and then. Kept going off like crazy. And we're like, whoa, dude, like this activity's like nuts. Every now and then this thing just goes crazy for no reason. We're in another room and we hear it going crazy. I'm talking, we must have spent an hour talking to this REM pod and trying to get it to respond on and off on cue and whatever like that. And it wasn't until literally we were kind of leaving for the night and went to go grab the REM pod and putting everything away, and the radio came on and it was like, hey, dispatch, blah, 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 the REM pod. And I looked and I'm like, so I sat for a minute, asked a couple of more questions. Nothing. The guy responded to the call from the first one. Yeah, dispatch, I'll be there. And blah, 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 blah. They had the radio down so low that we really couldn't hear it unless like we were right next to it. And it was only then when I went back to get the REM pod and I was literally in front of the radio did I hear the click on, click off. And I'm like, oh, crap. And that's when I figured out that REM pods can go off by radios and walkie-talkies. I've used walkie-talkies on investigation and I've seen them go off. So I was like, oh, okay. But that was a good 2-3 hours wasted on thinking there was something really going on when it was just, the police scanner or whatever. But you live and you learn. But other than the REM pod, we got nothing in that building. Nothing. So that was different. But yeah, those are good old days, when you go and out there and you're doing different things. So we would go to if you look on like New Jersey Civil War websites, they'll show you different areas where battles happen. We would go to like the most obscure battle sites where I think there was like Hessian soldiers were buried in this one little area. And not that I'm laughing that they were killed or that they're dead, but the area was like behind a park. This little tiny section of grass where there was this little tiny marker. And we would be out there, at night, people walking their dogs and stuff. And we got our recorder and our K2 meter. And it was just like, that's what we were doing, back then. It's funny. But I've got some new toys that I'm playing with and I'm enjoying. My son bought me this one. It's just a motion sensor, but I like the song that it plays. Maybe you can hear it. I don't know. Is it on? Come on. Probably has to be in the dark. Whoops. Probably has to be in the dark. Yeah, I think you have to be in the dark. Anyway, it's creepy. It's got to be in the dark, though. It's creepy. It plays Tiptoe Through the Tulips, and it plays it pretty loud. So it's another one of those, like, music box, only it looks like an old radio. And I was messing with that, too, as I was walking back and forth. And it's creepy to hear Tiny Tim late at night with no lights on. Pretty cool, though. So I hope you guys enjoyed your holiday, Christmas, if you celebrate it. Definitely a weird one for me. one that I hope not to repeat anytime soon. But I heard a lot of people are getting sick. I know there's a lot of people out there dealing with colds and flus and whatnot. And now we got this beautiful snow in Jersey happening, which is right now. I can see out the window. It looks like it's coming down. I don't know. But this weather sucks. Hey, Nancy. I was just talking about you, Nancy. But uh, you know, I know the snow's supposed to stop tomorrow. I think at like 7 a.m. I have to pick up Chris. I think she said like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. I'm not sure, but I'm getting the itch. So, yeah, you're right about that too, Patricia. It will be nice to have her here for New Year's and to celebrate. It was, you don't think of things in terms of like first when you've known somebody for 30 years, you know, but like everything now is our first as a married, as husband and wife. Hey, Murray, thank you. I appreciate that. So it, you know, in big picture kind of way, it was kind of weird for us not to spend our first Christmas as a married couple, as husband and wife together. That was kind of weird, when I really sat and thought about it. And that was the problem with being home and being sick and it being the holidays. You think about everything, everything. And that I hate doing. And that's why I wound up trying to conjure demons in my home because I was so bored and I didn't want to think the whole entire time. But yeah, I just wanted her to be able to be with her daughter and her son-in-law and her grandson. I mean, fortunately, I'm fortunate in that my family's in Jersey. My daughter and son literally live 15 minutes away from me in two different directions. So I could see them every day if I want to. But for her, she can't. So she misses a lot of those holidays and, Christmas and stuff with her grandson and her daughter. So, I'm going to be with her hopefully for another 50 years. So for one or two or three or how many, it really doesn't matter as long as she's happy. That's all I want, So I'm just sorry she was sick. I wish she would have really, but that was the whole New York trip. We shouldn't have done the New York trip, even though it was a blast. We should have never got into the city with millions of people, with millions of viruses from all different places, sick, people sick from here and there and there and there, all converging in one place. And we should have never done that, especially after coming back from Gettysburg. We were just kind of rolling the dice, and she did get me sick, though. She knows that it was her fault. So it was. I was just fine. And then she whammo out of the blue. But I do plan on going to the Creeper Gallery on, what is today anyway? Today's Friday? Hey, John, I was just talking about you as well. I was thanking you and Nancy for, I was explaining to people that was my Christmas dinner while I was watching It's a Wonderful Life and tearing up at the end like I always do. But I thank you both. You guys are awesome. But yeah, today's Saturday, so maybe Sunday night, I'll go to the Creeper Gallery or Monday. I haven't booked any events for 2026 yet. I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna start because people are asking, places are asking, but I really haven't gotten to the point where anything is set in stone for events. I've talked to the others, to Danielle and Nikki, and of course Chris and I, and we talked about this year, and we talked about do we want to all get together and do it again? Is it Friday today? Really? Oh, shit, it is the day after Christmas. See, I told you, I've been in a fog, man. I really have. Oh, so that happened. That happened on Christmas night. Holy crap. My brain being sick. I literally sleep all the time. I've lost track in the last 3 days. So the clowns and everything, that was Christmas night that all that stuff crashed down. Wow. That blows my mind even more. Wow. Told you I've been sick. I've been completely out of it. Yeah, if I'm not online or at the Creeper Gallery, you know that I'm down. Oh, happy birthday to your mom, Celine. Um, Merry Christmas. Hope you're feeling, but yeah, Lorraine, it's just a head cold now. I'm doing better. I finally have energy. When I get sick, I cannot drink caffeine, and I hate it. I've been drinking tea, but I don't put a whole lot of sugar in it and a whole lot of milk in it like I like it, and it was just for my throat really. Um, but I don't drink a lot of caffeine when I'm sick. Soda has no taste to me. The energy drinks were burning my throat. So that's what made me sleep too. But now that I'm feeling better, I'm catching up a little bit with the energy drinks and I'm good. Miss birthdays December 13th. Okay. Um, but yeah, as far as next year, you know, I wanted to get there. I would have loved to have gotten together with everyone for the holidays. Nikki and Danielle and really had a meal with them and celebrate and talk. But again, we got sick and all that happened. But we were talking about next year and things that we're going to do, and if everybody wants to go get into doing all the events again, and they do. I mean, they're all for it, except for I saw Tiny Tim at Clifton Park. No way. Um, Tiny Tim was a character. I don't know if you know that or not, but listen to Tiny Tim on Howard Stern, and you'd be pretty shocked if you don't really know him. But like I said, they're all for it, and as long as we don't book events on Fridays, which I understand, hard for everyone to get to events on Fridays, but it's just a matter of how many and when and where, and when to start. So um, I'll get there. Not quite there yet. I just got over being sick, so I'm getting myself motivated to, you know, wanting to get out and do events again and contacting these places, especially the newer ones that want to do stuff. Um, just not sure how many I want to do this coming year. And we always talk about, hey, that must be Chris. I see Chris, I was just talking about you. You missed the whole thing about how I conjured the devil last night. I didn't realize that was Christmas when all the stuff came crashing down. And whoever it was spared all my stuff. Isn't that something? I see that. Watch tonight. Like all my crap that's on my shelf in the bedroom will come crashing down while I'm sleeping, and I'll curse everything. But yeah, I do want to I would have made it. I seriously, if I was not sick, and you know me, this is the truth, I would have been at the Creeper Gallery on Christmas for sure. I would have, but I couldn't even muster any freaking energy to go do any of that. And I'm sick if that's the truth. So um, instead, I just sat home and caught up on Ghost Adventures and everything else and played with all my new toys, my new gadgets. I've got this thing. Um, it was the thing I did that caused. Well, I can't say for sure it caused whatever happened, but man, oh man, it was bizarre in the things. It was equivalent to, and this one made me think that it wasn't anybody that I knew. It was somebody outside, maybe around. Um, I was at the Creeper Gallery months ago with Chris, and I can't remember where we were investigating. It might have been the Ouija board. Might have been the Ouija board. Probably was the Ouija board that supposedly had a dark attachment. And I don't want to say the word, but that person, um, that MF, um, right in my ear during the Estee session said, "Where's your dog?" And I was an open wound. I still am, about Walter and him dealing with cancer and all the stuff that he's uh, going through and has been through and how much he means to me. So that's an open wound, that you know gets to me. And when I heard that voice and the way they said it so menacing, it was mocking me, like, hey, where's your dog? Meaning, like, you know, look what your dog's going through, and I know it, and you're kind of mocking me. And I got mad and I got upset. And when that live ended, I told you guys this. Chris shut off the camera and I broke down a little bit. It was fresh after, yeah, it was for my soft spot. It was fresh after finding out about Walter and, feeling helpless and the things that I was going to try to do to keep him here and make sure that he wasn't suffering. And I was, like I said, an open wound. And so I had a bit of a breakdown after that. And it got me, and it got me good. And it took a while to recover from that on the way home. And last night, it seemed like whoever was here, was that the, yeah, yeah, you're right, Jay. Last night, it seemed like whoever was here during doing that experiment that I was doing the same thing to me. Like they were poking me, because of course, during the holidays, how could you not think about uh, old Christmases and things that you took for granted and you didn't appreciate, those memories with those people, you know um, and I was doing a lot of that by myself, of course. So and I think who it was kind of knew that, and when they mentioned it the first time, it was in passing. It was a female. Hey, Kathy. It was a female who just came through and said, "It's your mother." And I said, and the female's voice sounded, like I said, not like a younger female. And I ignored it, didn't pay it no mind, and kept asking just general questions. Again, I was just testing this spirit box. That's all I was doing. Same questions, repetitive. Say this, say my name if you can. Tell me your name, and I'll continue. Just let me know that someone is here and they can hear me and we could talk. And I figured again, Christmas night, maybe there are spirits everywhere. I told you guys that on the live stream when we were talking before I got sick, that I thought maybe the veil would be a little thinner, and maybe that works for both the good and the bad, you know? So, so that first passing, your mother's here. I said in my head, no, she's not. I would know it. I would feel it, you know? And then, you know, I kept continuing, asking the same question, and it came back around again. Your mother's coming. And I'm thinking to myself, what a cruel thing to do to someone. You know what I mean? Because again, I really didn't get the impression that it was my mom. I really didn't. I was just like, well, what a cruel thing to say to someone who, I said my mom's urn is 10 feet away from me, and it's Christmas, and I was thinking about all those other Christmases, and I'm just like, you know, no, she's not coming. She's not here. This isn't her. Well, I said, if this is her, what is your name? And mom. And I said, Mom, yes, is what I call you. Of course, you're my mom. What is your name? Tell me your name and I'll believe that you're my mom. And mom. And I'm like, and it just kept, like I said, the tone of it, the way it happened. And then when that shelf fell, hey, Luann. Yeah, Luann reached out too. Thank you, Luann. I appreciate your concern. When that shelf fell again, you can see I'm just kind of getting back into things that I didn't even realize that was Christmas night. I was so high on Valium and NyQuil that I didn't even put the two together. You know, it was like, whoa, that was Christmas night that happened. And the thought, if I thought for a second that it was my mom wouldn't have broken a shelf and crashed all of Chris's clowns onto the floor for me to clean up and cut my finger on. You know, my mom isn't doing that on Christmas night. Hey, Brian, I hope you're feeling better too. My mom wouldn't do that. My mom it would have been something very noticeable, you would think. Something of hers, like the blue heart that I had mentioned, that chip coffee I talked about on his reading. If that had fallen onto the floor, okay, maybe I would have maybe made the connection a little more. There are other things too. Her funeral card, her cross from her coffin. Any one of those things would have, shown me that it was her. But it wasn't her. Whoever it was, yeah, that was a mean one that passed through. It was, and we'll see what happens tonight. I should do it live, keep it running, right? Live while I'm sleeping. I wish I could have captured it. That's the thing. Like, you never know. I'm literally, like I said, the drugs are kicking in. I got Da Vinci Code on, and I'm trying to follow that, and I'm like talking about all this scripture and stuff that I know nothing about, and I'm just head going back, and go boom. And I said, someone threw a rock through my damn window on Christmas. I'm like, I know there are people out there that don't like me, but damn, on Christmas, So I really did expect to see a window shattered. That's what it sounded like. Something hitting the window and then the glass breaking. So I really did. That's what my initial thought was. I'm like, wow, okay. Come on, I didn't break anything. Whatever broke your clowns. That wasn't me. You know that. But anyway, I bet that spirit was angry that way. Again, I don't know how it works out there. Somebody passing by that wasn't feeling the holiday spirit themselves, and I guess wasn't happy, and I just so happened to run into him. The cat always acts weird when Chris isn't home because that's her cat. So that cat always acts weird, but not particularly weird. No, not at all. And she wasn't anywhere around when it happened anyway. That cat can't roam free at night because she'll cut your throat when you're sleeping. True, she would. But yeah, that's my holiday story. Not quite Hallmark or It's a Wonderful Life, but it's my paranormal Christmas. You're welcome. But anyway, I hope you guys all had a good one, and I hope you enjoyed it with friends or family, and I hope none of you guys are sick or whatever, and if you are, you feel better. It's going around. It's definitely, we avoided it for a while, and here we are. But yes, I have so much stuff under the camera, behind the camera, that I need to clean up before Chris gets home because it's all my lab stuff that I've been playing with and So I have to put it all away and get it out of sight because I've been. You should see, you should see the. I should turn my camera around and show you. You wouldn't believe. I mean, it's just spirit box over there, something over there, something over there, something over there, charging something else over there. But yeah, that's what I do when I'm bored and I'm home. Yeah, Chris is going to be on a train for hours tomorrow. So yes, we have paranormal weather. Oh my God, 76 degrees. I walked Walter this morning. It was like 21 degrees, and I'm still feeling not so great. So man, that cold. That was another thing I need to thank Maria for. She got me a gift. It was this pullover hoodie, one of those ones with the heat coil things in them. And boy, did that come in handy around the house. I've been wearing that thing religiously as I shiver and shake, and I'm hitting that button like there's no tomorrow. My holiday has been a NyQuil fueled fever dream. Lori, right there with you. I didn't even know it was Christmas last night when all that happened. I went from doing a live stream on, what was that, Monday, I think I did it, talking about I'll be back on Wednesday and maybe doing the Creeper Christmas, which would have been a great title for a live stream, to Dayquil during the day, NyQuil at night, sleeping literally so many hours. I would just walk Walter, come back, wrap a blanket around me, and just out. 82 degrees. You got to be kidding me. Oklahoma? Man, we got snow coming down and sleet, and it is freezing. Freezing. All the cool kids were. Did Scooter get sick? No. Scooter was probably the one who tore down that shelf because he didn't get to do a Christmas show with me. Probably I shouldn't. I really shouldn't talk about any of it, to be honest with you, because I am superstitious, and I'm almost like thinking like, just shut up about it. Be done with it. Don't mess with any. And I shouldn't even say that because I did just like do another, not with the same thing, but I did another session with another spirit box thing about an hour ago, and nothing really cool came through. It was nothing like what happened Christmas night. But yeah, I really should just shut up and not talk about it or do it anymore. I should just be like the monkey, which again, the Creeper Gallery thing, the Ghost of Christmas Past event, if you were there, you may have noticed that the monkey was not there. The monkey, Chris, where does Donna say the monkey was? Oh, somebody else had the monkey. One of our mediums has the monkey. And that is literally the first thing that Chris and I asked when we were heading for the gallery is the monkey here? So then when we did get up in the gallery, there's another monkey. This one doesn't look like the monkey, but they came in together. So I look down, and it's not the monkey, but another monkey. And everybody's like, oh, here we go again. And I'm like, I'm not going to talk to it. I'm not going to talk to it. I'm not. This close to talking to that monkey. Everybody told me not to, and they stopped me. But if I was there by myself, forget it. They shut the bridges down around us in South Jersey. We were getting mostly sleet. I'd welcome 82. Yeah, those roads are going to be horrible. Be careful. You got to get up tomorrow and do anything. That's why I was out with the nuts earlier after I walked Walter. Yes, I did get milk. Yes, I did get Italian bread. Yes, I did get cold cuts, all the necessities, and my super sugar crisp cereal. So I'm good for 2 days or 3, maybe if I have to stretch it. So I will survive for sure. Anyway, you can see this stuff is kicking in, but I wanted to come on and wish you all a belated Merry Christmas. Sorry I wasn't on to do it in person, but yes, I did have the plague. But be careful if you're heading out there tomorrow for any reason or tonight. Um, appreciate all your support. Everyone who messaged me, called me, sent gifts. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. You really do. The reason It's a Wonderful Life affects me the way it does because, and again, people out there can say whatever the hell they want to say. I really don't care, honestly. But for me, the paranormal has given Chris and I that kind of life within the community, and that yes, we've been doing this thing for a while, and we're 501c, so we've given money to a lot of these great places across New Jersey, who need the money. We've done events, psychic fairs, and the expo for the Woodbridge Charity Fund, and we've met so many amazing people who are dear friends now, and this community knows each other, which is awesome. On top of that, it's not just us, and we do feel like that is the payment. The money, the fame, the views, the clicks, whatever, none of that really. At the end of the day, it means what? It could come and go as fast as it came. It could go. This is different. This matters. You guys matter. What we built matters. And again, it may not last forever. Who knows how much longer we could keep doing what we're doing. We'll always be around, I'm sure in some capacity through the years, but you guys have really made every bit of this worth it. And we can't thank you enough. We mean it. I mean it when I say that what we have gotten back from you guys has been just, I'm amazed when the people that are in this chat and others who aren't watching right now will help raise money for us to buy equipment, or give us gifts, or show up at our wedding, or just be here watching, or whatever, supporting things for us, and just being there for each other. It really is a crazy, amazing thing that we have here. And to me, that's better than money, man. It really is. So that's about it. Enough of the mushy stuff. Be safe. Be careful out there. I'll be back probably, what'd you say tonight was again? Today's Friday? Saturday? Probably Sunday night from the Creeper Gallery, where we get back to the fun stuff and stop doing it here and start doing it there. All right. Have a good night, everyone. See you soon.